The White House announced plans to open more detention centers as the crisis on the border continues to grow. Tens of thousands of people, many of them children who are alone, are crossing into the U.S., and Governor Perry has asked President Obama for more help. Fox 4's Melissa Cutler is in our Dallas newsroom tonight with the latest in this. Melissa.
Well, Heather, Governor Perry has asked President Obama to step up efforts, specifically for an additional 1,000 National Guard troops to patrol the border. He's also asking for use of Predator drones and more helicopters, and wants to give the National Guard arrest powers. The plans for more detention centers also were announced by the White House today. They are designed to process the recent surge of families crossing over, mostly from Central America. The centers will include immigration judges and government attorneys to help process the caseload and expand the use of monitoring devices such as electronic ankle bracelets to keep track of them. There are efforts on a federal, state, and local level to get a handle on this crisis. Secretary of Homeland Security Jay Johnson, along with senior White House officials, FEMA, and other agencies, toured a shelter set up at the Joint Base San Antonio-Lackland to see where the influx of families of unaccompanied children crossing the southwest border have been housed. Then they will go to the southern border with Mexico and view that area as well. The children stay at Lackland until a more permanent solution can be found. Texas U.S. Senator John Cornyn echoed Speaker John Boehner's recommendation to send in the National Guard.
I believe that it is appropriate to send some National Guard troops to the border to help the Border Patrol do their job. The problem is now the Border Patrol is changing diapers. I mean, they're diverted from their primary responsibility because they're trying to take care of this humanitarian crisis, this wave of children.
Cornyn says the humanitarian crisis is prompted by the perception that the United States does not enforce its immigration laws. Roughly 600 children are also housed at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. It's unclear how long they will be there. And earlier this week, Texas directed DPS to go to the border as well. It won't be cheap either. The cost is estimated to be $1.3 million a week. That's expected to begin next week. That DPS presence will be there at least to the end of the year, Heather.
All right, so you've got this surge then of our folks headed down there. What's next then, I guess, both on our level and the federal level as well?
Well, you know, at least closer home here in Dallas County, officials are meeting with federal officials to see what Dallas County's role is going to be, if anything. They may go there themselves to see how this is going to be handled, to see what's going on. Some of these children will likely have families here in North Texas, so reuniting them, making sure that they're fit to have, the families here can have these children, that's going to be another challenge. The health department has been on notice. There may be a surge in demand for locally provided health care as well. So, Heather, you know, as we said, and this is something that is affecting us both on a federal, state, and local level. So obviously not the last we're going to hear about this.
And it's interesting, too, when Mr. Cornyn said to think of those agents, you know, changing diapers instead of doing what they should be doing. It kind of puts it in a different light when you look at it like that. All right, Melissa, thank you. Fort Worth Catholic Charities is now expanding its capacity to help care for all those children crossing into South Texas. The agency says it's receiving money from the federal government and the Catholic Bishops' Conference to provide 32 beds for children who are alone. Again, like Melissa said, many of those children from Central America. Last year, Catholic Charities in Fort Worth took in 200 refugee children. Only 3 of those had to go to foster care. The rest were united with family members already living in the U.S.
We house them. We screen them to assess whether or not they're victims of human trafficking. We determine whether they are eligible for legal status in the United States. We administer full medical checkups and vaccines. We provide them with counseling, and we provide them with a safe place to live, many for the first time ever in their lives.
By the end of the month, Catholic Charities will have room for those 32 children, double their current capacity. They're recruiting foster families as well to help house any children whose relatives cannot be located.